Hi everybody. So I wanted to have a moment of real talk. Real talk. And no matter if it's a prophet, a shaman, a light worker, light bringer, indigo child, star seed, uh, psychic, what have you, it's all the same thing. Watchers are a little different, and seers are a little different, and also empaths. They all come from the same education from the mystery schools. And the mystery schools are talked about in the Gospel of Thomas. If you didn't know that, there's a lot of information out there. If you do Google search, mystery school, Gospel of Thomas, or the copper, what is it? The Legacy Codex, lead codex, or I was just looking at Bruce Codes. Bruce Codes. There's a lot out there, and it takes you beyond of what Scripture and Torah has had, because they predate what was originated in biblical texts. But to get to the point of this video, I wanted to get into the reality and the realness of these gifts and what I personally go through. And I'm sure many people can probably go through this too. And it might cause emotion because we're not normal. We are here to be judged and persecuted and still continue to stand and make people happy and see the harsh world we live in. And we have to still have integrity, and we still keep fighting every day. And it's like, God, why? What am I fighting for? Why would someone, a creator, a divine entity, allow so much and create us to be these miraculous, marvelous beings with these special gifts, and we're enduring so much? And just when we're about to throw in the towel and give up, here comes 1,000 more different affirmations or problems, or you're making new friends, or you come across something that you had an epiphany about, and it brings you right back into accepting why you went on this journey in the first place. It's what I call a mind F, because every day is different. And for people who make these, catty videos of, here are 10 reasons why empaths are what they are, sometimes I want to say, oh, but I can't, because I know if I press judgment on anyone, judgment comes back on myself. And that's what comes with the responsibility of these gifts. You are responsible of teaching others what it is to do what you're doing. Maybe your position is not to teach, but people are certainly watching you, and sometimes people pick up on that, which is why for me personally, like to keep my videos so broad and so well-rounded. I don't just stick on one topic, because if I just stick with all biblical texts, people are going to say, oh, you're a holy roller. If I go to, I need to roll up my window. This is another thing that comes with these damn gifts. You're trying to give a message out, and then laws of attraction keeps bombarding you with. And for those who know what I'm going through, you certainly have an issue with anxiety right now, and your doctors don't know how to prescribe a resolve with what you're doing, what you're going through. It's like my physician right now, he doesn't believe that I have a natural anxiety problem. He thinks it's caused by other substances and things that I'm influencing my body on. But at what I try to emphasize to him is that my job day to day is what it is. But I know it's all these otherworldly, other dimensional, other reality, my conscious reality, my subconscious thinking, all of that. And I'm trying to compose myself daily. It's hard on the body. The body goes through so much endurance and affliction. And I don't think people outside of this gift understands what we personally go through on a hourly basis. It's not easy. I would like to put my life out there. So I made about 3 new friends since I moved to my new place. I moved somewhere new near the coast, and let's just say yesterday, my new friend who I made about a week ago, my empath ability extracted something that he needed to have reflection on. And he has anger management, depression, and suicidal entities within his body. And every time when I'm around him, this entity attacks me. And he's not aware of it because he's not awakened. He's just a regular dude who drinks a beer and watches TV and, and has a family, ex-wife and a child. But he'll text or call and say, hey bro, let's chill, man, let's watch the game. And when I went, like yesterday, when I went over to watch the World Cup, I went into his apartment and I see him smashing everything in his apartment. The walls, bottles, the floor. He was ripping his bed. I had to protect his dog so he wouldn't harm his dog. It was very scary. I wasn't scared for myself because I always speak protection over myself. Affirmation. Beep. Oh, and so long story short, I knew to ask the white light to surround me. I knew to plead the blood of Jesus. I knew to ask my guardian angels to surround me. I knew to say, Metatron, this is your domain. Please fight this battle. Benevolence, please inherit this room. Engulf it with your love. Clairvoyance, please calm him down. I did everything possible because I think in a universal position, you have to use universal law to have clairvoyance, period. Meaning inner peace, meaning clarity, meaning resolve, meaning answers are met. But it was very scary because I didn't want him to hurt himself. The last thing was, I knew there was going to be a point where he was going to attack me. So I had to turn around and leave. I couldn't say I'm leaving, bye, out of here. The friend before that I met, well, it was a date. And my date was pretty much in love with me within 4 seconds of meeting me, and became obsessive compulsive with wanting to connect, wanting to be in my presence. But then me as an empath that I am, and it wasn't about us having an established relationship or a connection on that matter. It was really about him waking up to what the possibility of his soul is to intersect itself with the love of another one's soul, and he misunderstood it for he misunderstood it for me, the person, liking him to a certain degree, and I didn't know how, at what degree to like this person, because they're falling for my soul but not me, the conscious person. They didn't know enough of me, the conscious person. They only knew the intimate side of me as a person. It's easy to fall in love with people because when they have abundance in their aura, if that makes any sense, you can make anyone fall in love with you. You can manipulate quantum physically. You can manipulate anything in the physical realm when you reach a certain height of abundance. And I was actually pretty fascinated that I had a reader months ago, because I was curious, and oh well, who cares? But I had a reader months ago, and she showed me 8 of Pentacles, 4 across in a diagonal. And it only meant that someone with complete abundance can manifest that, especially in a reading. So I know how to take care of my gifts. I know how to be responsible. But it's hard. It's hard when you have a corporate job and you cannot talk the way that I'm talking. You can't even allow the environment to think that you are influencing anybody in your parameter with what they know you talk like, what they assume you believe in and whatnot. So it's like walking on eggshells when I go to work. It's like being babysat whenever you're on social media, because everyone on social media is like waiting. YouTube's different. Facebook is sort of like there's too many people who are in your personal realm day to day. So I can't talk this way on Facebook and Instagram. YouTube's different because this is a platform where people are looking to have some clarity with many different questions they have, observations, or even just for us conspiracy theories. This is a platform where we can actually find observation and have sources within having our theories. It's not a conspiracy. I'm gonna wrap this up shortly, but it's very difficult, especially if you're like me and let's say you want to date someone. Sometimes you have to really know, was I brought in this person's life for my own benefit of feeling this love energy with this person, being accepted, having a normalcy, or was this person brought in my life because my empathy, my higher self is going to do work on this person and fix their situation? Because there's many people who I met and never heard back from them after I swiped right on Bumble. But then if I see them in person, or if I had a conversation with them once and then I see them later in life, they're engaged to someone, and it's like, wow, what? And then you kind of often think, did I do that? So at some degree, I have to start acknowledging that, yes, this is me doing that for them. Yes, this is my soul doing its work. It's pretty fascinating, but like I said before, it's a mind F, because your family doesn't understand what you're going through. You can't tell them, I had a vision, a prophecy, and I'm a shaman. And you can't tell them, have you heard of Reiki Healing? Let me explain how that works. Right. There's many things that in your journey, in your walk, you absorb and pick up different gifts and abilities, because that's just where your compassion lies. If you see children crying, for example, and you want to stop them from crying, then sometimes you establish an empath ability, meaning you can feel what they feel, and as an empath, you collect what they cannot resolve. And in your own physical reality, you happen to go through a situation where you can fix that, like in a second. I do Reiki healing on people, And oftentimes, if it's an ankle that's sprung, or a finger that has a cut, whatever, what have you, for example, if I do Reiki on this person for their injury to be healed, not only are they healed and better like never before, but then I get a cut on my finger, or I might sprain my ankle for an hour, or for 24 hours I might endure limping because my body has now taken something from them. But even though it seems like a curse, it's a blessing at the same time, because you have now showed the divine creation. You have shown the source, the masculine, the feminine integration, or God, or universe, what have you, Gaia. You have showed them that you're willing to sacrifice yourself for the well-being of others. As a shaman, it's kind of hard, because shamanism goes all over the retrospect. Sometimes you just intuitively know someone's walking up to you and you go, oh my gosh, I know that they have a problem in their family. It must be their daughter or their grandfather is sick and they're worried about it. So then you kind of have to think, what can I do? But sometimes in your cognitive mindset, go back home and light your sage on their behalf, knowing that at your altar where your sage is planted, wherever you lit your sage, or if you have the names of these people, Billy Bob, and then you write Billy Bob's name, you light sage at your altar, you put Billy Bob's name under a quartz crystal or a rose quartz, what have you. These are beautiful things that symbolically tell the benevolent beings that are around you to finish off what you started, because a lot of these things are in different realms and dimensions. You can't cross over and do that until you're subconscious. So you might have dreams and inception dreams, because you're crossing over into their psyche, and you're finding a path to unblock. Now, I remember last week I told you all that I had a dream. If you're following my video, I think I said weird dream, rainbow calcification, something like that. There's another video right after that one that I posted. I'm sorry, I post a lot of videos. It's hard to remember which one. But I was saying that I was in a encampment with children, and that I was trying to free them and let them loose, and that there was a tornado. I had a weird, funky dream. But now I know what it meant. On the border coast of Texas, it was the encampment of the kids who were in immigration. So what happened was, I saw the world whine, moan, and complain and blame the president for imprisoning these people, consciously knowing that the photos and sound bites that had surfaced online and on television came from the year 2015. Some photos even 2013. But we all know that there has always been a issue with different borders all over the world, including where I am, California, Texas as well. So what's fascinating was, I did a meditation on the solstice, which was Tuesday. And the solstice meditation confirmed with me that these children, like in my dreams, they will be freed. So I actually wasn't worried about their well-being. And what's beautiful is, yesterday I kind of was glimpsing on the news, and it actually showed that 500 were reunited with their families, which is amazing. And that 1,800 of the remaining children who were in encampments from the immigration issue, they were put in foster care. And they're in foster care along the Texas border. So my dream was really taking me to a future tense to see that they were fine. But the fact that my higher self took me to that situation, I saw the abuse, I saw the way that these children were being treated, prior to being put where they are now, where they're safer. So I don't look at the cuckoo man, I look at the policy he created, and the policy has placed them with multiple adult supervision, which is good, and children need that. Long story short, I'm moving on. I don't want the negative feedback on my comments because I choose not to really discuss politics and whatnot. If you're an empath, you already know things are good the way they are in the United States. It's just the illusion that's painted it's the delusion, I'm sorry, that's being painted. And there are bullies who are an elite group, and they are these secret societies that bully people who are not part of their group. And obviously the president is not part of the group, so they're going to chastise and rip him apart. And quite frankly, we don't know. Someone can be an absolute moron, I'm just saying. Anybody can be. I could be an absolute moron. But that doesn't mean that I am not in tune with my gifts. It doesn't mean that I have not awakened. It does not mean that I don't know how to handle my gifts. So be careful when you criticize and judge someone in a place of power, because they might have the same gift as you, but they like to paint the illusion that they're not, just to throw off the scent of the bullies and the enemy. So with that said, I think I'm going to let you guys go, but hang in there. If anyone you know is having issues with their gifts, or if you know people are just at their wits' end, I know depression and suicide is very high with people who have these abilities. It's really hard and difficult, but you know that you're important because you were designed to be put here, and there was a blueprint for you being here, and you're doing the work. Even when you feel like you're not doing the work, you are. I even drive around and I look at all the transients and homeless people and people who consciously said, I don't want to live in a system. I'm watching how they harvest and absorb all the dark, all the demonic forces that are out there. And I don't think that some of them are in I think there's pure people who are in positions because their soul, their destiny, their higher self had originated them to be where they are, to collect all of that darkness and all that things that we can handle, like things that would probably kill some of us physically. But you look at how these people are just standing and falling apart, but they're still standing. And when you give them $1 or you give them food, what do they always say? God bless you. So if there's anyone that is doing the work, I look at the people who don't have cars and homes. These souls are the ones that we need to have thanks for and forgiveness for. And if you are prophetic, you already know that in your prophecies, you don't see them in a position of condemnation, and you don't see them in a position of destroying the world. You don't see them in a position of harming people. Though schizophrenia is a part of it, the thing about it is substance abuse, and I would say spiritual abuse, including possession, it opens up so much of your cognition. Even people who do DMT experiences and ayahuasca and all that crap, it's the same thing. The cognitive part of your brain can only sustain so much information. Once you've transmitted so much electrons through that area, and I'm channeling this, that I don't really know all this from my own brain. This is what the source is telling me. You have so much electrons passing through a certain part of your brain, at some point you do not become part of this reality. You move on to the next dimension, which is the fourth. And the fourth dimension is these invisible things that we can't see. Our higher self transmutes itself through a fourth dimension. ghosts and angels and whatnot, they transmute themselves through this fourth dimension in order to act in the third. But everything is moving into this fifth, because the fifth is the overseer of all dimensions. And then there's even ninth dimension. There's so many different, but those dimensions are outside of this realm, outside of our dome. So we don't have a part of that. And then you have three heavens. So, and like I said in a video before, there's 7 channels and there's 3 heavens. I don't know how to explain it, but this is just what the source tells me. Kind of like there's third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, but our realities act and our frequency goes up and down through those. So it's very important that you have your vortex open, you keep yourself happy and positive as much as possible. You don't respond to all the frequency that everyone's responding to, you act opposite. Or you have an observation and you keep your mouth quiet and you say something in a form of unity and in a form of respect and a form of dignity. And you always want to hold yourself with class and integrity. That's the best way to get through this destiny and this journey, because it's hard. I totally get it. It's hard to like make friends because you feel when it's not right, and sometimes things come out, you're like, damn, I don't want to be a part of this person's life if this is already happening right now. So a lot of us find ourselves alone. I find myself alone. I cry about it once a week and I get over it. I might have a glass of wine over it, but then the wine amplifies my vibration. It doesn't make me sleepy. Some of you probably going through this too. It's the harsh reality of indigos, star seeds, light bringers, light workers, prophets, shamans, psychics, watchers, seers. What else? Did I forget something? I know I forgot one of them, but it's okay. I love you all. Hang in there. We're in this together. And comment below your experiences, and let's start building the bridge. Let's sharing this together. We're not alone. We're just in our realities alone, but there is a dimension where we all connect. So thank you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.